Hello, this is an introduction to the first unit of the quarter one, and it is called The Human Connection. Besides listening and watching this presentation video, you will also need to have your guided notes in front of you. Your notes look like this. You can see that you need to write wherever it is highlighted and says the word response. As we go through the video and the slideshow, you'll see that for some of them, you'll write exactly the words from the slideshow. When you do that, you will delete where it says response and write the correct information. And other times you have to write your own answer based on your own perspective. So listen carefully as we go through the slideshow. All IB units start with what's called a statement of inquiry. This is basically the overall concept that we'll be investigating throughout the unit. For this unit, the concept is moral character is developed when it's tested through connections with people or the environment. Now you may want to pause the video so that you can respond to this first question. It says moral blank develops when it's tested through connections with people or the environment. And based on what we just watched, this here would say character. So you would write and delete where it says response and write the word character. Then you'd also want to stop and think about what does that mean? And you can write it in your own words or give an example of what you think this statement of inquiry means. So stop the video and respond to these two questions. One way to better understand the statement of inquiry is to break it down, and we'll look at the definitions of some of the terms. The first term is moral character. That means the existence of positive qualities such as integrity, courage, honesty, and loyalty that help a person do the right thing. In other words, it means being a good person and citizen. Now we'll explore the other part of the statement of inquiry, which is connections with people. So I want you to pause the video and respond on the notes section where it says, besides family and friends, name other situations in your life where you make a connection with people. You can think about places you go throughout the day, during school, after school, before school, and give some examples of it. The statement of inquiry also includes connecting with the environment. So, besides your home and neighborhood, name other situations in your life where you make a connection with a physical environment. Now I want you to be thinking conceptually or critically and respond just based on your experience. Why does moral character matter? Next, respond to the debatable question. Who or what determines what is morally right? For both the debatable and the conceptual, just do your best and be ready to have a conversation with the class regarding your responses. For this unit, there will be two summative assessments. One will be about 4 weeks into the quarter and one will be at the end of the quarter. And when we look at summative assessments, we break them down. They're called GRASPs. The G stands for goal, the R for role, the A is the audience, the S is the situation, and the P is the product. The first summative assessment, the goal is to demonstrate your understanding of how moral character is developed when it's tested through connections with people or the environment. You may recognize that as the statement of inquiry. Your role is you are a fan of Humans of New York and want to create something similar for your own community. And we'll be getting into what that is later in class. The audience is your community and possibly Instagram. The situation is, in order to connect more closely with your community after COVID, you've decided to create a Humans of My Community project. And the product is a slideshow with at least 3 stories about moral character, includes any story structure elements of members of your community. friends, family, neighbors, etc. You will know more about this later in class. The second summative assessment, which will be due at the end of the quarters, grasp number 2, has the same goal, which is the statement of inquiry, but this time the role is you are a junior in high school who is interested in attending college after graduation. The audience is a college admission committee members, and the situation is the school you are most interested in has given you the following essay prompt. When was a time that your moral character was tested and how did you respond? And you're going to write a narrative essay. In order to achieve these summative assessments, we'll be working on 2 different criteria. Criterion B is organizing. You'll employ organizational structures that serve the context and intention. And criterion C is producing text. And that would be produce texts that demonstrate insight, imagination, and sensitivity while exploring and reflecting critically on new perspectives and ideas arising from personal engagement with the creative process. Throughout this unit, the most important learner profiles will be to be both a risk taker and a communicator. For risk taker, we approach unfamiliar situations and uncertainty with courage and forethought. And communicators means we express ourselves confidently and creatively in many ways. Once you have finished your guided notes, you can turn them in through Google Classroom and wait for directions from your instructor for the next steps. Good job!